There is this Dutch company, around 400 years old. At its peak, it was so outrageously valuable that if you took Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and Saudi Aramco and combined all of their market value, you still would not reach what this company once commanded. It was worth $7.9 trillion in today's money. NVIDIA, currently the most valuable company in the world, is worth roughly half that. The company eventually collapsed. But what collapsed was the corporation. What survived was the machinery. And in the decade it was built, it invented every financial rule your money lives by today. But here is the warning nobody is reading. The most valuable company in human history collapsed, and how it collapsed is a blueprint for what is happening right now. 1602, Amsterdam. Before this moment, there was no such thing as a publicly traded company. If you wanted to fund a major expedition, you either had to be a king or borrow from one. The VOC changed that in one move. They opened the world's first initial public offering. Ordinary Dutch citizens could buy shares in the company's future profits. That single decision created the stock market. Same year, the world's first stock exchange, Amsterdam, 1602. When investors worried about losing everything if a ship sank, they invented limited liability. Your investment at risk, but your house safe. That protection is why ordinary people invest today. Without it, only the very rich could afford to risk capital. 1609, the world's first central bank. The Amsterdam Wisselbank. Corporate bonds and futures contracts, options trading, all of it. One company in one decade. Stocks and bonds, limited liability, the stock exchange, the central bank. The entire architecture of modern capitalism, built in 10 years, to serve one company's need to fund the most aggressive commercial expansion in human history. The VOC collapsed in 1799, but everything it invented did not collapse with it. Every financial instrument it created was adopted by Britain, then by America. The New York Stock Exchange, direct descendant of the Amsterdam Exchange. The Limited Liability Company, direct descendant of the VOC structure. Every stock you have ever bought, every bond your pension fund holds, and every limited liability protection your business relies on. All of it traces back to one decade in Amsterdam. The company died, but the architecture survived. But here is what the history books never tell you about that architecture. It was not designed to make ordinary people wealthy. It was designed to extract wealth from ordinary people at scale. The first IPO raised money from Dutch citizens to fund VOC expeditions. The citizens bore the risk, and the VOC directors controlled the decisions. The dividends flowed upward, and that structure has never changed. The New York Stock Exchange runs on the same architecture as Amsterdam 1602. The names changed, but the mechanism did not. At its peak, the VOC had 150 ships, 50,000 employees, and 10,000 soldiers. It governed entire nations. Then it started borrowing to maintain what it had built. The debt grew faster than the revenues. The dividends kept coming, paid from new debt rather than real profits. Sound familiar? By 1799, the debt was unpayable. The Dutch government nationalized the company and absorbed its obligations. The most valuable company in human history, bankrupt. Not from military defeat or competition, but from debt that was never meant to be repaid. The same mechanism running right now. In the balance sheets of governments that learned everything they know about finance from the company that just collapsed in front of you. The VOC invented the financial system. Then it demonstrated exactly how that system fails. Debt beyond the point of repayment and dividends paid from borrowed money. An empire that looked permanent until the morning it was not. That pattern has repeated in every major empire since. Rome, Spain, and Britain. And right now, in the balance sheets of the most powerful economy on Earth. Subscribe. We expose one hidden rule per video. This is one of them. The full story of how the VOC built the financial system, who controlled it, and why its collapse is a blueprint for what is happening right now is in the documentary above. Every financial tool you own was invented in 10 years. The question is what happens when the system built on those tools reaches the same point the VOC reached in 1799. That question has an answer, and it is not comfortable.